Hi there, so in this video we're going to be talking about modal verbs and how to use them. I hope you enjoy. So I'm going to start by showing you what modal verbs actually are and what they look like. So here are some examples of modal verbs that you will see a lot in English. For example, we've got can, could, which is the past of can, must, may, should, and might. A popular one that you might use in class would be, may I go to the loo, please? So what's so special about these modal verbs? Well, there are three main points. Point number one. Modal verbs have no S in the third person singular. And I will give you an example of this. So on the one side we have he plays basketball. So here he is the third person singular and we have to then add the S. For the second part we have he can play basketball. So here we have he again, which is a third person, but the modal verb stays the same. There is no S, and we don't add an S to play either. Now comes the second point. After a modal verb, we use the infinitive without to. And once again, I'll give you an example for this. So in sentence 1, we have Sally is allowed to go home. But with modal verbs, like may, we have to drop the to. So it becomes Sally may go home. And point number 3, modals don't need do in their negative and question form. And I'll give you two examples here again. Let's compare, does Peter have to take his medicine? So here we have the auxiliary verb to do. And in the second example, must Peter take his medicine? So here we drop the auxiliary verb do. So it's not does Peter must take his medicine. Modal verbs can also have a lot of different meanings, and I'm going to now divide these meanings into two main groups. Group number 1. Modals to express how much chance there is of something happening. So here, one example of that would be, it may rain tomorrow. So here, may is used to describe what the chance is of it happening. And here the chance is somewhere in between a high chance or a low chance. And I'll give you another example where we're talking about a high chance that something happened or is going to happen. He must be the killer. So here we're using must and we're describing a high chance that he is the killer. Modals can also be used to express advice. For example, you look ill, you should see a doctor. So that's an example of advice. We also use it for obligation. For example, I must do better in my next test or I will fail. So this describes something that comes from inside the speaker, and it's something that we say we have to do. And we also use modals for permission. And I'm going to use the same example as I did before. So when you're in class and you need to go to the toilet, you say, may I go to the loo, please? Modals can also be used to talk about ability, so things that we can and cannot do. Like, I can speak English. So that's it for this video. I hope it was helpful.